Welcome, guys. So, my name is Alex Ferrari. I am a director, a post supervisor, a colorist, an editor, a producer, a writer, a craft service guy. I do a little bit of everything. I also run a website called Indie Film Hustle, which is a podcast as well as a resource for filmmakers as well. It's apparently fairly popular now, which is great. My whole goal with Indie Film Hustle and what I do is trying to put power back into the filmmakers' hands to survive, show them how to survive and thrive in the film business. It's a brutal business, as everybody sitting in this room knows and understands. That's why I love Blackmagic so much, because they actually put the power back into filmmakers' hands. They give us extremely powerful tools for a very affordable price. Compared to an Alexa or one of these other cameras, or software, for God's sakes, the Davinci. So they contacted me specifically because I did this new movie called This Is Meg. It is a low-budget movie, under $25 million. As soon as my audit is done, I'll release the budget. But it was done on a humble budget. And we shot it with basically 3 people, was my crew. And my actress was the slate, as well as the producer and the writer and everything else, that craft service as well. So it was a very humble shoot. And we shot it on the Blackmagic 2.5K cinema camera. And I chose that camera because, one, I owned it, which is always a great place to start. And secondly, it was, I love the look of it. I've always loved the look of the Blackmagic cameras in general. I would have loved to shoot with an Ursa, but I haven't been able to con these guys to giving me one just yet. Slow, I'm working on it. But I did love the camera, and I love the workflow of it. And I've been a colorist on Davinci for a while. When did you guys take over? When did Davinci take over?
We took over in 2009, so 2010 was the first Mac version.
So I started probably around 2010-11. So I've been on Davinci for a while, and before that I was on Apple Color, God forbid, but yes. So I've been coloring for a long time, and I love Davinci. The coloring capabilities of it are insane. It's the industry standard for a reason. But the reason they called me is because I decided when I was doing Meg, I was one of those holdouts on Final Cut 7. I did not want to jump to Premiere. I come from a time when Premiere sucked. Back in the day, and I've never been able to get that out. I know it's wonderful now. I know a lot of people edit on it. It's just my own stigma. I can't get onto it. I used to be an Avid editor. Can't afford an Avid right now, and I didn't want to go to Final Cut X. So I was like, what can I do? And I was like, well, I heard Davinci edits now. I'm like, I see there's an editor. Every time I go to color, I pass the editing part of it. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try. And as I was shooting the movie, I hadn't even figured out the setup. As I was shooting it, I was like, let me shoot a day, and I went back and I was like, all right, I can edit raw, great. And I started playing with it. I'm like, oh my God, this is really powerful software. And I'm going to go over a bunch of the stuff of why I use it and my workflow through it. But before I keep going, let me show you the trailer for our little humble movie, This Is Meg.
I wasn't an actor. What would I be?
Prostitute.
Nah. No, I get too many diseases.
Gross. You know what? You're not on social media.
I'm not gonna make like those 3-minute stupid videos.
Yeah, well, those stupid videos are getting people deals. Network deals, movie deals, TV deals.
I used to do that stuff when I was little. I would take my dad's huge Betamax.
Betamax. So sad. It's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
It's been rough, but this is a good opportunity. It's with Suzanne Walker. I'm a crazy casting director. How do I go outside your restaurant?
No. Les? Well, I don't remember. Anything's happening to me. I'm a victim.
I think I'll book it. I can't give up on this dream of mine. I can't. I love this crazy business. It's not even about being famous. It's just I want to work.
Let's face it, 30 is the new 50 in this town. You're like The Walking Dead.
I cannot look at you because it's going to distort my aura.
Do you want me to blow on your flame first?
Oh my God.
What you waiting for? No, what you waiting for?
Everybody needs ayahuasca once in their lifetime, at least.
It's gonna be amazing.
Give me one reason why I should never make a change.
I mean, I don't want kids. Like, I have problems going to the bathroom. I can't imagine pushing out a human being. I just
Totally different hole.
Can turn the lights back on? Thank you, guys. Thank you. We worked hard on it. So let me.
Okay,
So why did I edit this feature film on Davinci Resolve? So one of the big things was the best of both worlds. Resolve offers the best of several NSL packages. So it actually brings together a lot of my favorite things. You know, whoever designed this, and I'm sure you know, it's honestly what Final Cut X should have been. It's for all us Final Cut guys, which were pissed off when Final Cut X showed up. This is what it should have been, and now it is. So it is, like I just said, it is extremely easy. I was amazed at how ease of use it is. It's extremely easy to transition to. So if you're in Premiere, if you're in Avid, if you're in any nonlinear editing system, it's so easy to just get into it. It's really, really fun. It can handle anything, and that is another thing I love about Resolve. It's an excellent online system. When I say it can handle anything, you could literally throw almost any format at it, and it handles it. You know, coming from Final Cut 7, you throw a TIFF in there, it just freaks out. But it just handles everything because it has to, because it's a coloring system and an online system. So it's basically giving you the power of a color suite and an online suite, but then you're getting the nonlinear editing, offline editing capabilities and power with it. Extremely well with others. Unlike other nonlinear editing systems, which I'll name now personally, Avid. There's a lot of other editing systems that don't work well with others. I'm picking on Avid because it's true, because I work with them all the time. I'm an online editor as well as a post supervisor. It likes to play its own ecosystem. Adobe sometimes loves to play within its own ecosystem, but if you walk out of that ecosystem, it becomes a little bit of a headache. So it works very well with Final Cut, Final Cut X, Avid, all other sorts of editing systems as well, and visual effects as well. I work with a lot of visual effects houses, doing visual effects, going back and forth with plates, doing keys, putting in mats, all done all in color, and it works wonderfully, extremely powerful. It's fast. I was able to convert a ProRes file in 7 seconds, where before I would export out a Final Cut, bring it into compressor, bring it out, and even if I use all the processors and all that crap, I'm getting a little geeky, guys, so if I'm losing you, please forgive me, but this is for all the geeks in the audience who know what I'm talking about. It just takes forever, so I started exporting out all my stuff right out of DaVinci with compression, with HDF, so it's ready for internet, ready for YouTube. Resolve's unique tool set and structures allows you to work extremely quickly, so it's very intuitive when you're working and editing. Like I said, it also has a lot of the hotkeys from Final Cut 7, which I found really wonderful. You can map your own keys, right? But stock out of the box, a lot of the same keys that I'm used to in Final Cut 7. I know I sound old as hell saying Final Cut 7. It's still in the indie world, a lot of people still use it, believe it or not. There's no more round tripping, which is great. Before, you would have to edit in a Final Cut or an Avid, go into color, bring it back, then when you're done, get it back out, and all this round tripping, and that's where the workflow starts to break down, and that's where issues start coming up. So being able to ingest, edit, color, deliver, all in your entire pipeline contained in one program, one ecosystem, it is so powerful. And being a post supervisor now for 15 years and delivering probably 50 or 60 feature films, workflow is one of the most important things you guys have to worry about, because I've seen so many feature films die in post-production. Get it in DaVinci, you're safe. It'll work. It'll go all the way out, you'll finish your movie. As opposed to, I'm editing in Final Cut X. Okay, great. I'm literally in the middle of a movie doing this right now. I edited in Final Cut X. They kicked it over to me. It worked sometimes. Some things didn't transfer over. Then we had to go back and all this kind of stuff until I told them, I'm finishing in DaVinci. We're not going back. There was a fight. I won. So, so being able to stay within that same ecosystem is so powerful. And for low budget filmmakers, all of us, we're all a desperate bunch and a broke bunch. So being able to do all of this in one program, on a laptop even, depending on what you're shooting with, this is the biggest plus for me as a colorist. I was able to jump back and forth from color to edit. So I know a lot of you guys, sometimes you'll be editing and everything looks beautiful in offline. It's great, it's wonderful. The second you take it into online, you're like, oh man, I have to push that shot now to match, and now I got grain, or I got dancing ants all over the place, or it's not working. So in the middle of my creative edit on Meg, a lot of times I would just I'll edit something, like, okay, that looks good, let me take it into color real quick, do a quick grade, I'm like, okay, I can make it work, and go back, as opposed to having cut the whole thing, have people watch it, lock the cut, then go into color and discover these problems. Being able to do it all within the same ecosystem is extremely powerful, and saves you a ton of time and money. And it handles any output you need. Literally almost anything you want to output. You could even output a DCP from it with an extra plugin, but I'm working on a hack right now not to hack the plugin. But you can export out a TIFF sequence and then use other programs and stuff like that. Because I'm right in the middle of creating my DCP for This Is Meg, and I've not done it through this process before, so I'm working my system out. I'll post about it if it works. But other than that, it does output any deliverables you need. It'll output to Avid. It'll output to all ProRes flavors, and of course, it has presets for Vimeo, presets for YouTube, all done, and it does it in record time. It's really, really powerful, and it's free. Have I mentioned it's free? It's so amazing. One of the biggest issues I have with Adobe subscription model, it's not just the price, but the inability to install software in more than a couple of machines. So if you have multiple Macs, or you're working or collaborating with somebody else, it's a pain in the ass. And we all know the olden days of Final Cut and all that kind of stuff that you used to do. With Resolve, you just go download it. So if there's a problem at the VFX shop, download DaVinci, bring it in, and now you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing. And it's free. Extremely powerful. I mean, like you were saying, how much was the package before they took over?
$500,000.
$500,000 package for Davinci Resolve. I remember those suites. Those suites were ridiculous. And they took it completely outpriced most people in this room and most filmmakers. But when I found out, like, anytime Blackmagic buys something, I'm like, oh, it's coming out free. Except for hardware, we haven't gotten to that point yet. But they give you the software, so there is no excuse for a filmmaker now not to be able to edit their own thing, not to be able to you have the power of a $500,000 suite for free on your laptop.
You got a full version with your camera,
and you get if you buy a camera, you get a free, get a full version of it for free. So it's, I mean, seriously, they're just handing it out like water. It's great. I own the studio. I do own the Studio Edition, but I also send it for collaborators and employees on other machines to download and work on certain things. Maybe do some offlining, assistant editing, things like that. It's extremely, extremely powerful. Now you have no excuses. Go make your movie. And if you need some more information about Meg, that's our website. And I wanted to show you really quick. Now, I know this is. When I started working in color, huh? Yeah, if you want to, it's fine. But let's leave it on. So that's fine. Sure. Yeah, sure. So there's this thing in DaVinci. I like to call it the Unicorn Tears Pixie Dust plugin. That is magical, and I couldn't have done Meg without it. So with the Blackmagic 2.5, I shot very quickly. We shot the whole movie in about 8 days. Okay, the entire feature. I lit the thing, me and Austin, he's standing, the cameraman in the back right now. That camera that he's shooting this with is the camera we shot the movie with. There are limitations when shooting with this camera. You can't, it has a lot of latitude, but sometimes we just couldn't give it the light that it needed, or we were running so fast that we just couldn't do anything with it. But being able to shoot raw, you have no idea how many times it saved my ass. We were outdoors in that scene at the end of the trailer where you see them sitting outside and it came out the wrong hole, that whole scene. No coverage. It was direct sunlight. That's direct sunlight, and that's 18 power windows later. And a little bit of this Unicorn Tears Pixie Dust thing that they have going on. What it is sometimes it got a little noisy. And I hate noise. I can't stand noise. It just sings that you've done a poor job. So what I was able to do with this is it's the Denoiser. So I'm just going to give you some extreme. Anyway, so what it does is it basically just softens and it takes all the noise out. And my actress Meg, who's also in the room, she loves me for that. Because I actually took her into the room and I showed her. I'm like, here, look at the before and look at the after. And she's like, can you do that for every shot? Because it just softened the skin. It just, it just drops. No offense, age right off the skin. It just makes her look beautiful. So as a filmmaker, if you want to make your actors and actresses look great, the denoiser is a wonderful thing. So what I did is actually I denoised everything. So it was really too clean. It looked so crisp and so clean. It wasn't indie enough for us. So I actually got film collaborator? Convert. I got the Film Convert plugin and dropped on film grain to kind of give it. So I had to clean out the digital grain and then I added in film grain to give it just that little bit of a touch. And it just, when Jill saw it, she walked in, she's like, oh my God, this looks amazing. So that right there, and I now use it for every client that walks in. I use it sometimes to match Red and Alexa, or Davinci, because not Davinci, but the Ursa and the Alexa have similar looks, which is amazing because that's an $80,000 camera and this is not. So sometimes they look a little too good, and the Red sometimes is too crisp. And I'm doing a show right now for Hulu that's exactly that. I had to go back, do reshoots, it's shot on Red, and it just didn't match. So I would soften it, throw a little grain on it, and they're like, oh, now it matches. So that's a little trick that I use for matching Alexa to Red sometimes. So, yes?
How does the denoiser in this software compare to like Neat Video or...
I've worked with those. I like it here because it's on the ecosystem. It all stays. I stay in the house.
I've had problems with those plugins before, and it gets messy.
Yeah, I mean, the software is so powerful that I haven't seemed to have to go out anywhere. They have a grain tool, but the film convert I just liked a little bit better, and it works beautifully within the ecosystem. That's why it's there. You can add extra plugins in it. The denoiser is insane. It's just by far the best denoiser I've seen. I actually took some mini DV footage from 2005 from my short film, and I was going to re-upload it to Amazon to start just cashing in. And it's obviously, it was shot on the DVX 100A standard definition. So it's a little, I got to blow it up. It didn't look something. I'm like, let me try it. Let me see if this pixie dust unicorn tears thing works. I threw it in, I applied it, and I was like, holy shit. It looks better than it's ever looked in its life. Just surely because I didn't do any like Terranex blow up or anything like that. It was just a straight up resize, threw the denoiser on, threw a little bit of grain on top of it, and I was like, holy crap, I can't believe that worked. It's insanely powerful. And the one thing I haven't talked about, which I'm sure everyone here knows, but I'm going to say it anyway, the motion tracker on this goddamn thing is magic. It is insane. It rivals many of the VFX tracking software. So when you want to do a mat, or can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just for everyone, down the hall tomorrow from noon to 4, we have the camera demo room and Resolve and Fusion station with the drum. So we can do the demos if anybody wants to come down and see the
They'll do it better than I will. It's great. You throw a little window on top of it, and wherever that window goes, where that face goes, it just follows, and it's magic. And if you're working with a client or a producer, you put that on, you look really badass. I'm just saying. So, is there any questions, guys? Yes, sir.
If you're working on a film that has like a lot of visual effects, which program would you recommend that works best?
We recommend Fusion.
Honestly, Fusion. I mean, it all depends on the artist and who you have working for you. If they understand, if they know Fusion, then that's the Fusion. That's the software. There are other packages out there. There's the other big one that I will not name. But Fusion is extremely powerful, and it works. Again, now you're in the same ecosystem as Resolve.
And now Fusion's set up a little bit differently because, as you know, there's sometimes a lot more visual effects guys and editors and colorists on the project. So Fusion, there is a free version. The full version gets you more of the collaborative workflow things, and you can buy site licenses for Fusion in chunks of 5, 10, 20, and 50 seats. So one dongle, so that way it's protected. People won't all put dongles. So it's $9.95, just like Resolve. A 5-seat license is just 5 times $9.95. But the 10, 20, and 50 seats start to go down a little bit in price as a break.
How much is it?
It's $995 for one seat, but if you buy 10, 20, or 50 blocks, it kind of comes down a little bit. But again, that's designed so that because you need 50 people working at one time, you don't need 50 dongles laying around your one dongle seat licenses that they can log into. Things like that. So,
Any other questions, guys?
Yes.
What was the DCP plugin called?
I don't know what the name of it is.
well, Easy DCP.
Yeah, that's it.
Easy DCP.
Is the one that we can hook up to. You have to pay for the.
It's like $1,000 a year.
I don't know how much they charge, but you need to. But we can set it up to go to Easy DCP to resolve.
Yeah, I mean, it's
For one movie, it's not probably cost effective. If you're going to do multiple, if you're in a business, then it makes sense to buy one.
But if you do your project, say in Resolve, and you deliver it to some place that can make the DCP for you, 99.9% of the people that would be doing it would have Resolve anyway, and even if they didn't, they could get the copy pretty quick.
Sure.
But most of them, because even houses, I mean, you don't mind, but even houses that, like I know guys who, when they weren't color grading on Resolve because they were using something else, they were still getting Resolve just to do all the round tripping back and forth. And when Final Cut X first came out, the only software that could go from 7 to X or X to 7 was Resolve, which is kind of weird. Because even Apple couldn't do it, but we did. So it's as a free version, just as a utility to use for anything. Even Apple couldn't do it, but we did. So it's as a free version, just as a utility to use for anything. It's no matter what camera you shoot, no matter what thing you're editing or grading on, it's what happens is eventually somebody goes, "What's that edit tab?"
Exactly. He's like, yeah. What is that edit tab mean? Any other questions, guys? Nope. All right, cool. Thanks, guys, so much. Appreciate it.
Can you see the trailer one more time?
No, sure.
If I wasn't an actor, what would I be?
Prostitute.
No, they get too many diseases.
You know what? You're not on social media.
I'm not gonna make like those 3-minute stupid videos.
Yeah, well, those stupid videos are getting people deals. Network deals, movie deals, TV deals.
I used to do that stuff when I was little. I would take my dad's huge Betamax.
Betamax. So sad. It's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
It's been rough, but this is a good opportunity. It's with Suzanne Walker, a crazy casting director. I will go outside your restaurant.
No, Les, I don't remember anything that's happening to me. I'm a victim.
I think I'll book it. I can't give up on this dream of mine. I can't. I love this crazy business. It's not even about being famous. It's just, I want to work.
Let's face it, 30 is the new 50 in this town. You're like the Walking Dead.
I cannot look at you because it's going to distort my aura. You want to blow any flame for a second?
Oh my God.
What you waiting for? What you waiting for?
Everybody needs ayahuasca once in their lifetime, at least.
And it's going to be amazing. I mean, I don't want kids. Like, I have problems going to the bathroom. I can't imagine pushing out a human being. I just totally different hole.
We are going to be, Slamdance rejected us. So,
Just throwing it out there, man. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. Shit is real. We actually just got word that we're going to be world premiering at Cineplex. And hopefully we're talking to another LA for an LA premiere as well. So, and then soon after that, we're going down our own self-distribution path. Which, if you go to indiefilmhustle.com, you'll see how I do everything. So I can kind of walk you through the entire process of how we do everything. Cool. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.